What we saw the authorities here doing overnight was dumping in a mixture of plaster and chemicals into the river that's running just a few feet away from me here to try and neutralize the very alkaline, the caustic solution in the river, all the chemical contaminants. They say that's been successful, that they've dropped the pH level down to a more normal level. 7 is neutral. They say it's now 9.5. 10 was the danger level. And they say it's at that level that the river has sort of entered the Danube water stream. But of course, that's only part of the problem. It's not just the pH level, if you will, how alkaline or acid it is. You have those heavy metals in there, cadmium, chromium, and poisons like arsenic are also believed to be suspended in this sort of chemical cocktail. And that's what's potentially going to cause the ecological damage that everyone's worried about. The river that runs by here, the authorities already say that they know that the soil around it, the vegetation, is damaged and destroyed beyond repair. But they think that hopefully that won't be as bad down in the Danube right now. Aisha?
Nick, do they believe they have the situation under control?
Well, yesterday, government officials were saying that they're professionals in this, that they can manage it, that they were applying the right solutions, and they had appeared to react quite speedily. A state of emergency, bringing in supplies. We've seen a lot of troops here, police controlling the sort of areas of contamination. But it appears now that the contamination has reached the Danube. And in the words of the Prime Minister, Viktor Orban, speaking in the village just here a few hours ago, he doesn't know how bad it is.
The pollution is the most serious thing after the losing of human life, because we don't know exactly what the size is, not physically, but in terms of depth and the seriousness of the special material. So I think it's a serious ecological catastrophe, but we don't know what the size of it. But it's serious, big, and because of the rivers, it has some effect tens of kilometers from here as well.
So it doesn't appear that, from what we've seen today, that any more chemicals are being added to the water around here. It appears now to be sort of entering the cleanup phase, and the sludge is just all around us here, Aisha.
Yeah, and Nick, you appear to be wearing what seems like to be a protective overcoat there to protect you from the sludge. I'm wondering, as you speak to people there in the area, how are they reacting to all of this?
Well, the government is handing out Wellington boots, protective overalls like this. It's not just the top of your body, but it goes down all the way to cover your feet. So the government is issuing that sort of protective clothing, heavy-duty gloves for people to clean up their homes. And we've been into some of those homes and talked to people, but they will show you caustic burns on their hands despite the gloves where they've been exposed to the sludge. And one gentleman I talked to, he actually had the sludge on his face, and he told me, I said, have you been to hospital? And he said, no. And I said, well, why not? And he said, well, it's more important to clean out their houses. But despite all of that, they say they recognize that the houses are probably beyond repair, that should just be demolished. And they say, really, it's a reaction, an instinct to try and clean them out, Aisha.